City. I'm pretty happy that I'm dressed because British Airways lost my backpack on Monday, so it was pretty hard 2 days to get back dressed. So it's quite a nice feeling to have the opportunity to have 2 talks in 1 month. So you realize that people are maybe start to listen to you, and when even they get your point, you realize that maybe you're a good storyteller. So in London, a month ago, I started with Steve Ballmer and his relationship to developers. So here in America, in the election days, I would start with my wife. Because after about 2 years, she's asking me what are we actually doing in our bank about all the API ecosystems and so. She watched my talk from London a week ago and she said, nice, finally, I got it. So I think humbly that, and I hope so, that I'm quite good storyteller, so you will not be bored in the following moments. So, what kind of dinosaur we are? We are the biggest and the oldest bank in Czech Republic. Czech Republic is that nice heart of Europe. We do have around 5 million customers, over 600 branches, I don't know how many thousands of ATMs. And together with other banks from the Erste Group, we are the largest financial provider in the Central and Eastern Europe. What we also have is the reputation of a dinosaur. Because Czech public definitely perceives us like this: slow, non-innovative and conservative institution. They thought that the last and biggest innovation for the last 10 years was some photocell above the door to our branch. And they are partly right. You know? Because we do have 10,000 employees and so many thousand processes in behind. So it's really hard to enforce any change, and even in the IT department. Because I think that any of you who have some experience from working in big bank IT will agree with me that the business guy still perceives us like these nerdy geeky guys wearing old blue jeans and the shirt from their granddad. But that's actually us today, API people, developers, digital punkers, who have a big influence on the whole bank strategy. Because API matters, and it will, and will more. And that interested them. Because at the moment, when you go to the business guys and tell them, hey guys, that new API platform, that new product we are building right at the moment is based wholly on the API platform. And they started to listen. It's quite nice. So let me tell you a story about the castle. You will definitely know it from the fairy tale which is called Sleeping Beauty. So when you go back in the time a bit, just a few years, this is exactly our bank, the Sleeping Kingdom, the castle with a gate. And the developers at the time was like, hey bank, you get the great data, I would like to write some application on it. How could I get to the IT systems? Or even the internal developers was the same. Hey bank, we are your IT, we would like to write some application. How could we get to the IT system? Exactly like this. You can somehow try to jump into it and enjoy the exploration because there is no API. So you have to swim around these middlewares and enterprise service buses and countless numbers of backends written in the language of all Egyptians. So, if there is no motivation at all to change the way to the developer, to the bank, there is no major innovation. But you think that if the bank or the institution have a reputation of a dinosaur and thousands of employees with their mindset, which are truly not much to innovate the bank or the institution, I strongly believe that inside this institution there are islands of positive deviations. We do have them, and they are really powerful, and I would say mind-blowing. So our Kingdom's API core team was that about 3 years ago. The godfathers are sitting right here, and one of them will appear in a second. And what was the motivation to start to build the API platform? There was many of you, developers, internal as well as external third-party developers. Another reason was definitely to build a platform on which we can prototype and make innovative stuff and make it rapidly. And from the point of development, when you set up the API platform and the agile approach, you save a bunch of money to your king or queen, to your CEO, which they like. So again, they will start to listen to you more and more. So, meanwhile we were building our API custom platform, PSD2 appeared on the horizon. I don't know how many of you know what PSD2 directive is? Perfect, and for you who don't know, it's a directive from European Union which says every bank in the European Union have to open some of their data by API. So at the time when PSD2 appeared, a lot of Czech banks, like a majority, perceives it like this evil dragon they have to fight with. But not us. We try to look at it more like an opportunity. Definitely, if you want to take it like an opportunity, there is one condition fulfilled. When the PSD2 will come, you have to be ready on the market with the perfect solution. Because they will come. Those developers from third parties, fintechs, and many more, and they will say, hey bank, we are here to use your API. You want to use it, so give it to us. And maybe we will cannibalize your business. And at this moment, you desperately want to say, and you need to say, okay, it's no problem, there's the API, take it, and enjoy it. And if you want to say this, there must be two conditions fulfilled. You should have a long-term, high-quality based relationship with the outside developers community and API community, and your product, no matter what is it, if it is internet banking or mobile application, should or must be state-of-the-art at the moment. And our kingdom, our bank, is one of the first among other banks in Czech Republic and Europe now aware of all these, and in compare other banks who are now like starting to think that they should build some API platform, we in compare do have an API platform and even SDKs, and I will get to it a bit later. So when you are starting to build about some ecosystem or platform, doesn't matter, you need to laser focus ideally on one thing. And we were right on it from the very beginning, and that is the developer's experience. How do we look on a developer's experience? We are trying to design everything as simple as possible, that the developer who would like to use our API have everything he needs at the moment at disposal. So, for example, in every castle there is a gate in the kingdom. We do have one as well, it's our developers portal, and we design it as simple as possible. So I call it, what you see is what you get. You got 6 APIs with interactive documentation when you click on one. There's no link visible because I still want to take your attention to the top. There's a short registration process when you click get API key up to the system test environment, and outline of our manifesto. We plan to keep it simple in the future, but also we want to make it really robust, main touch point for all those third parties who will come more and more. So when we are about to develop some application based on our net banking API, which is designed for the retail segment, you may find some technical difficulties, but this is really complex API, it's about money. And a year ago we didn't have any SDKs yet. So we were thinking how to help the developer, how to show him what our API is capable of, where he could start. So we introduced the very first open source internet banking in the world and put it to GitHub. free to use. You can still fork it and create your own internet banking. So believe me, it was pretty funny days, that days when the board from Erste Group gives known that some guys from Czech Saving Bank just released internet banking, open source one, and put it free to use. So after this experience, we realized the needfulness of SDKs. So we make a research on how our APIs are used, and based on this, we define which web APIs will have some SDKs. And because we are a bank, there's so many security processes, we have them now in private repositories on GitHub, but hopefully till end of this year, we're gonna release them publicly. Now we are piloting them with chosen developers and internal ones. So everything you have just seen, we share. And not just on a Twitter, about tweeting it. We go among the community, to conferences, hackathons, we organize it, and that's simply great. When you are looking at the developers using your API smoothly and creating such a great stuff, for example, what you can see is some 1, 2, 3, 4 prototypes which were made in 3 hours on Web Expo 2015 conference, it satisfied you. And what is even better, when the developers or the community people look at you and they think, oh, this is out on them. Hey, have you seen our homomorphic encryption API implementation? And this is the moment when I want to invite my colleague and my friend, Jan Sechovec, which is our main visionary. And anytime he brings the rocket stuff. So, thank you.
Hi there, hello everybody. My name is Jaroslav Sechovec. I'm mostly the developer, but also the hobby cryptologist. And Moza was talking about that we are providing our APIs to the third parties. They are starting to write an application over that. But yeah, that's okay. So if they are dealing with the client's application on their mobile phones and so, it's okay. But what if they start to putting the client's data in the cloud and starting to further processing of that? So I think that they can run into legal and compliance issues very soon. And today, I'm so proud to introduce our very first in the world on-the-fly homomorphic encrypted API. So how many of you are familiar with the homomorphic encryption concept? One, yeah, perfect, two. This is more than I expected. So I was expecting just 0, but that's fine. I really appreciate it. So what is the homomorphic encryption? Homomorphic encryption is a concept which allows you to provide or to perform computation over encrypted data. So let me show you. For the demo, I just chosen the parallel crypto system, which is known to be partially homomorphic for addition and multiplication by plain text. So let's import it. This is just the Jupyter notebook in Python. Parallel crypto system is known to be it is just an asymmetric crypto system. So I generated the key pair, and now I encrypt with the public key those two values. Let A be encrypted form of 2.5 and B encrypted 20.3. You can see that the encrypted values are just the ciphertext, nothing else, you know? And now let's perform the sum and mean operation, the computation with those two values, with those two encrypted values. And magic happens. So you see that I just use the NumPy framework, which is just the mathematical framework for Python to show you the compatibility and the interoperability of the homomorphic encryption and the Python, for example. You see that the result of the homomorphic operation of the computation is also the ciphertext. And now I use my private key to decrypt them, and bang, we have the results, which has been decrypted with the private key. Yeah, thank you, thank you. In fact, it was just the math magic, you know? Great, I like it. The parallel crypto system was primarily designed to be used with positive integers, but we exploited its modular arithmetic a little bit, and now it's ready to be used with all real numbers. Perfect. So, what we did, we implemented the encryption engine into our web API gateway, and magic happens. So, right now, we are able to dynamically choose every single value, every single property from the API responses and encrypt them with not only the parallel, but also with any arbitrary crypto scheme. And what you see here, it is just the transaction history of our demo client within the given period, and the amounts of transactions has been encoded by the parallel. Now with the public key. Now we just provided the encrypted data to the third party. Third party make a sum of the transactions and provided the result to the client. And because the client, she has just the private key, so she can decrypt the value. What I would like to tell you, our more finer, this is just a cat, and you see on the first slide, our homomorphic encryption engine is not working only with the parallel crypto system, but it works with any arbitrary crypto scheme, which is now nowadays. And if we chain the encryption schemes and we do it smartly, we can provide not only the addition and multiplication by plain text, but almost any arbitrary computation. So this approach is known something like the onion encryption. You see that we use the probabilistic and deterministic mostly for indexes and sorting. We use parallel for addition and multiplication by plain text. Order preserving encryption preserves the numerical ordering of the values so you can compare them. And RSA is known to be partially homomorphic for multiplication. So with those operations you can and this is something what I think is multi-billion business in the future. So yes, this is still experimental, this is in beta, but what I think that world is in beta right now, and if you are not the part of the solution, you are part of the problem. Thanks, and I will hand over to Jerry. Wrap it up.
I just want to ask Gonza, who will say the takeaways? I think you should stay here, because it was 1-1, wasn't it? So, thank you very much. What I want to tell you, like the takeaway is, and do not forget, that's really important. I want to point it out, challenge your business all the time and hardly. Okay, you want to say something?
Yeah, and you can see our rap videos on the YouTube because he's a rapper and I'm the producer of his rap videos.
Thank you.